There are definitely more ways that public relations can look to either the customer, the community, or the employees. So here are some examples of those activities. If you are a customer, you could be experiencing public relations anytime you need to go to get special services or work with like the help desk. You could also be asked to be on an advisory board where the company asks for your opinion or your help testing a product so that they get a better product or better impression or better reputation. In the community, PR can be seen from a company standpoint through different activities and organizations. So let's say that a company decides to sponsor a specific night out at the park, or they're sponsoring the local baseball team, or they're running the pancake breakfast. Those are all examples of public relations activities inside the community. From an employee standpoint, the company also needs to have public relations with their employees. This can be done by doing things like tuition reimbursements, giving Employee of the Month awards, or even just sending out newsletters where they communicate different things. So again, their employees have a favorable impression of the company that they work for. Many times in PR, a company will send out what's called a press release to inform the public about a specific PR activity. Now, press releases all have these things, and I'm going to go over what each one of them are and show you what it looks like on the press release. So the very first thing it will have is a headline, and that's usually centered in bold or in all caps, and it's supposed to catch the reader's eye. So here's the example of the headline on the right. Then a press release will usually have a date line, and that's going to give the location for where this press release is for and the specific month, day, and the year. So right here it said month, day, year, and then in parentheses it says the city or state. If this is nationwide, it could say like nationwide or the United States. Then the press release will have a lead or a summary paragraph. This is the first paragraph over here, and it's going to answer as many of the who, what, when, where, why, and how questions as you can. It's the most important information first. Then you'll continue on with the body of the press release. This would be additional information, maybe history or a quote from a specific person. At the end, you'll have what's called a boilerplate statement, and this is a brief background about the company or the organization. Usually that is separated by the about company name underlined, like it is down here at the bottom. Then somewhere on the press release, I like to see it at the top, but sometimes you'll see it at the bottom, is the contact information for the company and the PR specialist. So if you're going to send this press release to the newspaper, who can the newspaper contact back if they have questions? So you should have the PR specialist's name and then the company's address, phone, website, email, or any other pertinent contact information. Finally, at the bottom of a press release, you'll have 3 different hashtags, and that signifies that you're at the end of the release and that there's no more on the following page. Now that we know a little bit more about PR, let's do a quick assessment. Which is the biggest disadvantage of public relations? The cost, the speed, the limited impact, or the difficult to predict and control? So one of the biggest disadvantages of public relations is that it's very difficult to predict and control. You don't necessarily know how somebody else is going to react. In fact, PR is extremely cost effective usually because you can do PR for free and it can happen really, really fast as social media shows us, and it can have a massive impact all over the entire world. Who are customers who make suggestions about new products? This would be C, the customer advisory boards, and this is a great way to increase PR. If you're a company and you care about what the customer thinks, the customer is generally going to have a better impression of you. When Coke sponsors the Special Olympics, this is an example of community public relations. This is definitely true. It's a great way for Coke to look good to the community. News releases should be written about every little thing a company does. This is false. We should be picking out the good things that the company does, or sometimes news releases are written in reaction to something bad that happens where a company is doing kind of like damage control. But every little thing is not necessary. That is overkill.